Okay, so the last thing that we're going to do today is we're actually going to combine our knowledge of gamepad and keyboard together. So in order to save space and our time, we can use our complex Boolean statements that we learned about earlier in this chapter for input. So instead of having 3 gamepad statements and 3 keyboard statements, what we can do is we can use that operator for or and say if the keyboard is pressed or the gamepad is pressed, we need to do this. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take the code that I've currently written. Remember, you have all the keyboard and all the gamepad data in here. I'm going to delete out all the gamepad data except for the gamepad initializing of the settings. And I'm going to take out all the keyboard data down here. So all I'm essentially going to be left with, I'm going to put gamepad input and keyboard input together. And here I can see I've saved the settings of my gamepad and I've saved the settings of my keyboard. So from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to combine these into one statement because it makes more sense to utilize our space and complex Boolean operators when appropriate. So what I'm going to place here is I'm going to say if. Now, essentially what I'm doing here is I'm saying, okay, if E is pressed on the gamepad, that's the red button, or R is pressed on the keyboard, then increase the red intensity. So we're going to do that with a complex Boolean statement. So here it's going to say if, okay, I'm going to access the gamepad first. So pad1 dot buttons dot B, if that is equal to button state dot pressed. I want the red to increase. Or, and if you need to know where or is, press shift and go to the button above enter. So you know where your enter return key is, go above that, and that's where our or operator is. So if the gamepad is pressed, or if I have, okay, kb.is key down and I want keys.r, if that is equal to true, if either of these statements is true, B is pressed on the gamepad or R is pressed on the keyboard, then I want R to increase. So now if I press start, it starts up. I can press B on my gamepad, I can press R on my keyboard, and both will increment red. So what I would like you to do is I'd like you to add in the other 3 pieces of code. So you're gonna add in the code to say, okay, if A is pressed on the gamepad, or we'll do G is pressed on the keyboard. Increase green intensity. And then you're going to do one for blue intensity. You're going to do one for yellow intensity. So I want you to add in the complex Boolean statements to make this happen. And once you are done, you can get that checked off by me, and then you can move on to the next video.